So Rishi, we're on Penn State's campus.
Yes.
We have some meetings coming up with the press, JMACL.
Correct.
So walk me through, when you came to Prairie View and the Journal, JMACL, had you ever worked on a journal in the capacity you are doing now?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. I started off as just as a reviewer.
Okay.
And I had a reviewing experience that I was working with another journal as well.
Okay.
But did start off as a reviewer.
Okay.
And then because I was working at the center, so an opportunity opened up, and we decided that'll be a good fit to join the editorial team. So started off as an associate editor, and then eventually a year and a half after that moved on to managing editor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for those people that might not know, what's a day in the life of a managing editor? I mean, what could one look like a day?
So it really depends at what time of the production process are we talking about. Days could be very different. So right now I'm working on we're here, we're going to meet the press tomorrow, and we have one of our issues that's going to be released here in 2 weeks. So right now it's extremely busy because you've planned for so many things, compliance-wise, release, production dates. There's compliance on our end from the university itself, where it's hosted, Prairie View A&M University. And then there's compliance from the press side, Penn State University as well. So there's a lot of things going on, meeting deadlines, last-minute changes.
Yes.
We recently, through Penn State, through the press, we recently changed the submission format, so we moved from APA onto Chicago. So last minute changes from the authors who had submitted manuscripts in a different format. So those kind of things are happening right now. Every now and then you would have something that's accepted and in line for production, but authors for some reason would want to pull it out. So that also happens every now and then at that point you start looking for the next available manuscript. So those kind of things are going on right now. But initially, when you get started on an issue, whether it's a special issue or a usual normal volume, then things are relatively, it's busier in the beginning because you're working with formalizing authors and what they need, submission guidelines, deadlines, those kind of things. But then you kind of just let them work it out, and you take a step back as a supporting role.
So, you talked about even the term managing editor, the word manage, and I know your background, MBA, business. There's business management, Master of Business Administration. Is it true that my perception of you is that you are very good at, you're organized and you have these skills and strengths. Is there a lot of portability through your academic training? Because you also have a doctorate. You're a scholar. You do research. You attend conferences. And different things. So how does that fit? How does the JMACL kind of fit into your professional identity and your professional role right now, working at the center, the Arch 3 Center?
So that's something that it's a very good point, because I have also started realizing initially when I made the switch from a business discipline into education and just social sciences in general, there was this whole thing of how many skills are going to be transferable.
Yes.
And then how does this new discipline look like? Right? A business is very profit oriented, social science is very impact oriented.
Yeah.
But fast forward to now, where I'm in this position where, as a managing editor, your journal is producing scholarly work, but the management part of it is still it's not very different from when I used to work for Fortune 500 companies.
Okay.
The management side of things.
Okay.
Because at that point, yes, what your product is scholarly, the journal, the manuscripts, issues, but the logistics of it is not as scholarly. It's pretty much the same if you were in operations in higher position at a Chick-fil-A maybe, right? Because you're dealing with deadlines, you're dealing with vendors, you're dealing with partners. The press is one, the university where it's hosted, that's one. And you're dealing with authors, right? Authors who are in the pipeline, authors who are interested, in submitting a manuscript. There are partners who would want to propose special issues, right? So that adds on more partnerships, more compliance, things that you have to check for. And this is in addition to, you know, managing the my team as well, the editorial team. Recently, we have grown from 2 to 3. You are one of our most senior associate editors, but now we are into 6, adding a few more here this year. So just management, like you said, that word sometimes is overused, but I think it's the definition of a managing editor. I think it fits perfectly combining both of those disciplines.
Well, and another thing of thinking of Dr. Bonner and the center, the diversity of the editors too, right?
Correct.
I think that's uncommon. I don't know for sure, but to have BIPOC, so much diversity on all levels. And it also could be institutions, so very diverse.
Yeah.
It made me think about your business savvy, because we had conversations, the editorial team, of, you know, we want to attract reviewers, certainly. We want to attract submissions. We want to attract editorial board members. But putting in systems in place, I remember you know, kind of ushering in a letter that could be sent out. Here we're doing videos, like a call to action, like, hey,
Right.
if you want to be part of JMACL, this is what you can do to get involved. Where do you see the future of the journal? Dr. Bonner mentioned close to being indexed.
Correct.
You know, from where you sit, and you work with Dr. Bonner much more closely since you're at the same institution. What would you say are some exciting things that could happen with the journal? You know, of course the indexing, but is there anything else on the frontier that you see?
Oh yes, absolutely. So one of the things, just in addition to whatever our future projects are, also ongoing projects. So JMACL is a relatively new journal. We started off and then the pandemic hit. So we are very new in producing issues and producing volumes, but we are at that point where we are ready for indexing now. Mm-hmm. Being peer reviewed has definitely helped, and now being indexed is also going to elevate the whole impact of the journal. It's Dr. Bonner has, when he started this whole journal, he was very intentional in, we call it JMACL. Every single word, Journal of Minority, Achievement, Creativity, and Leadership, right? So every single word is very intentional. Those are the 4 pillars of the journal. And every time we have interested individuals who want to submit a manuscript, they ask me, would this be accepted? And if you look at those 4 pillars, really we've kept it broad enough where you can tie in with the scope of the journal, whatever topic you really have, whether it's on the K-12 side, whether it's on the higher ed side. Even we're taking working with manuscripts that have nothing to do with education, right? They're nonprofits who are doing good work, and that's just the framework of the journal. But then even topics wise, we have our own call for proposals. We have our own scope of the journal, which is very well defined. But then we're always open to have partnerships with special issues. Mm-hmm. So just recently, as we're talking about, we have 4 special issues in the works. One of them is international, with India, with an institute that prepares officers for public administration. The other one is with the Hilliard Sizemore course, the fellowship course that just happened this year. So we're really open to getting those special issues, because they don't just, you know, they're helping the journal because we're producing more and we're getting close to whatever numbers the press wants. Everybody is happy. But then also the discipline. Mm-hmm. Special issues are a good way to bring in topics and disciplines that maybe even I'm not an expert in. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's not just special issues. That's the way we look at our individuals who are submitting manuscripts. We take in proposals, we take in the reviewers. I've been working on enhancing that pool, and that also goes down to disciplines. We have had, right now I'm working on adding more people from STEM backgrounds, from people who work with quantitative research, mixed methods research, and because say the center that the journal is affiliated with, the Arch 3 Center at Prairie View A&M University. Arch 3 stands for Achievement, Research, Creativity, and High Ability. But the number 3 denotes the populations that we serve: students, faculty, and administration, educational leadership. So really, like I said, it's broad enough where we're able to do a lot of things, bring in a lot of collaborations and partnerships. So long story short, the future of the journal is bright.
Well, and also, this is now the second year at AERA. They have the Meet the Editors, and each year it seems like the editorial team has, and truthfully, we need to shout you out, Dr. Raj. Just the planning that goes into it to me meaningful. So when people come to our table and they meet, and certainly what we're trying to do here while we're on Penn State's campus, some of the video work that we're trying to produce here, NFE Summit, a special issue, which is amazing to me. I know Dr. Strayhorn's not here physically; he's here with us in spirit. And so I would agree, the journal's bright. I guess I want to end my time with you asking you maybe one final question around your role and at your work at the Arch 3 Center and JMACL. And those people that might be watching this video who have aspirations to have a title like you, to have a role like you, to do what you're doing.
Correct.
Any advice that you would give them to get to your role? Like, if they want to be you, what can they reverse engineer? Give some guidance.
Yes, definitely. So currently my role at Prairie View A&M University is Associate Director of the Arch 3 Center. That's the most significant hat that I wear. In addition to that, I'm Provost Fellow with the Office of Academic Affairs and then Managing Editor of JMACL. There's a common thread that ties in all of this, right? Arch 3 and JMACL, the kind of work we do, they're aligned with each other. But if you want to do something, what I do, and there's so many people who are doing so much better, I'm learning every day.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that I worked out for me, I really put in a lot of emphasis on interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary work, whether it's on the scholarly side, whether it's practice-based. So that has allowed me, because like I said, I started off with a business discipline, accounting and finance, and I still teach business classes, but now through my EDD program, it never felt like I changed disciplines from business to education. The educational leadership program, the EDD degree, felt like an enhancement to a business leadership degree.
Okay, yeah.
So what I'm doing right now is everything that we produce in the higher education discipline is, the betterment of the society, whether it's a scholarly manuscript that you publish or your time in the classroom or your advising, mentoring roles, all of that. But through my discipline, through my multidisciplinary approach, I'm able to add an extra layer of efficiency, an extra layer of accountability. So those kind of things, and initially when I made this jump, I was wondering how this would all pay out, this jump from one discipline to another. So really my recommendation at this point would be that do not hesitate to make that jump from one discipline to another, because from an asset-based lens, there's a lot of value in combining different disciplines, and that allows you to navigate positions in higher ed where you become an asset to ideas, to people, and to a lot of projects that are ongoing, where you can add different viewpoints. My research is usually focused on international education. Okay. Through the center, my research agenda has now also included STEM education, minoritized education, and then I'm working on some manuscripts myself where we're looking at the economy the financial aspect of higher education, the cost of the degree and its worthiness, right, those kind of things.
Beautiful.
So multidisciplinary approaches allow you to do more different kinds of scholarly work
I
as
love
well.
that.
And so that on a daily basis, that informs my decision making, whether it's for the journal or for the center. It guides me pretty much every single day.
That's a good insight. That's some good wisdom there. That's almost like medicine for my soul. I need to hear that myself. Yeah, there's a lot of value in what you said. Well, thank you for sharing your insights and your experience. So, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.